We'll start in Thunderbolt today, sitting on our heels, closing the eyes if you'd like, letting the hands rest on your lap, palms open. Slowing your breath down. And setting your sights here on what you're going to do on the mat today. Calling on the strength you already have, inviting it to grow bigger, inviting yourself to grow stronger, doing the best you can with each pose, each movement, coming back to child's pose anytime you need to. Checking in with your body today and accepting it for what it is and how it feels. That's a little bit different every day, and that's okay. As we exhale now, let's lead with the heart and fold forward over the knees slowly, letting the back round down toward a child's pose. And then inhale, roll back up the spine until you're sitting tall again. Exhale, lead with the heart, fold forward. Inhale, roll it back up slowly. Exhale, fold forward, leading with the heart, coming all the way down into that child's pose, and then inhaling, tucking the tailbone and rolling back up. Exhale, fold it forward, lead from the heart. Inhale, roll back up. Good. Bring your hands behind you, palms on the floor, fingers forward, and just lift your hips up off your heels if that's comfortable. Doesn't have to be very high. Gently lower back down, and keeping the hips on the heels, we're going to lift the knees up, stretching out the front of the legs a little bit more. You can rock your knees side to side a little if that feels good. Then lower the knees back down. Come up and curl your toes into the floor. Sit down again. Take your little toes and pull them out so they can get involved here. Sitting on the heels, letting your weight rest on your heels to open up the foot. Deep breaths, slow breaths. Good. Gently release that. Bringing the hands to the floor, coming all the way forward into a nice plank. From there, let's move to downward dog. Spreading the fingers wide, lifting the sit bones, and then step forward big with your right foot, lifting all the way up to a high lunge. Exhale, lean the heart forward, reach your arms by your hips. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, hands back to hips. And inhale, reach up into your high lunge. Exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. Step back big to a three-leg downward dog. Reach that right leg back behind you. Open it up now, letting the hip open a little bit. Stretch it up as high as you can. And then bring that elbow toward your knee toward your right elbow. Pause, breathe. Keep that right knee up, turn onto the inner edge of your left foot and bring the right knee under you into this version of side plank. Holding that right leg up off the ground. And then stretch the right leg out, putting the outer edge of the right foot on the floor and lift yourself a little bit higher, fallen triangle. Gently lower the hips down to the floor and come to seated. Tucking that right foot in beside your left leg. Right foot on the floor. Hands behind you, fingers forward. Lift the hips up on an inhale. Pressing into that right foot. Keeping the hips level, even though your right leg is probably doing more of the work here. Good. Lower the hips back down. Lift the left leg up, coming to this boat, a half of a boat. The right foot still on the ground, the left leg straight and strong, the heart moving toward those left toes. Good, and then set the left leg back down. Let your right knee fall open to the side, and as you inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold forward over your straight left leg. Reaching your calf, your foot, whatever you can comfortably hold. Nice deep breaths. Inhale to reach forward and up. Exhale, bring the right hand down behind you. Shift that left foot so you can rest on the outer edge of it again, and lift your right knee up, returning back to plank with the right knee tucked under your chest, and then stretch the right leg back behind you. Set it back down on the floor, downward dog. Step forward on the inhale with the left leg now, reaching all the way up to high lunge, arms up. Exhale, bring the heart low, arms by your side. Keep the heart low. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, biceps by the ears. Exhale, arms to hips. And then inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms, high lunge. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Step back to your three-leg downward dog, reaching the left leg behind you. And then letting the hip open to reach the leg as high as you can. Keep pressing into both hands. Tuck that left knee toward your left elbow. Hold it. Breathing. And then shift onto the inner edge of your right foot, lifting your left leg under you and toward the sky. Side plank with the left leg lifted. Stretch the left leg out. Put the outer edge of that left foot on the floor and lift the hips higher still. Nice deep breaths. Gently lower the hips down to the floor. Turn so that you're seated. Place the left foot on the floor, knee up, hands behind you, fingers pointed forward. When you're ready with the inhale, lift the hips up. Hold there in that half reverse plank, half table, keeping the hips level. Gently lower the hips back down. Lift the right leg off the floor into your half boat, keeping that right leg as straight and as strong as you can, lifting the heart high, shoulders low. Lower the right leg back down, place the left foot, left knee on the floor, sit tall and exhale into the forward fold. Pausing and breathing. Inhaling to reach forward and up again. Exhaling to place the left hand on the floor behind you. Shift your hips again to set that right foot on the floor and lift your left leg up under you again. Come back to your full plank with the left knee under your chest. And then stretch the left leg behind you. Three-leg downward dog. And then regular downward dog. Good. Deep breathing. Feel your body warm and even on both sides. Step forward with the right foot again, returning to the high lunge, inhaling the arms all the way up. Exhale, heart low, arms to hips. Inhale, biceps to ears. And then turn your left foot onto the floor. The left heel comes to the floor. Keeping your arms up in kind of a circle, and then reaching your right hand for the floor, left arm up. Side angle. You could always bring your your right elbow to your right leg if you'd like. Return to that kind of half circle, reaching up, and then lift up so your shoulders are above your hips, coming into more of a warrior two. Let's reach the arms behind us, lacing the fingers. Stay right there if you want, or let yourself fold forward into your humble warrior. Nice deep breaths. The right knee is still on top of the right ankle. Release your arms all the way to the floor. And then stretch your fingers forward. Good. Walk the hands back in. Just an option here. Kind of fun if you want to try. We're going to get that right elbow under the right leg. Coming into Eka Pada Koundinyasana. Walking the right foot out until you can find it straight, shifting your weight onto your arms, lifting the left leg off the ground. Good. Gently set the left leg back down, bring the right back to meet it, and return to downward dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, all the way down onto your belly. Good. Let's lift both legs up, keeping them tight together. And then set them down on the floor. Bring your elbows under your shoulders, palms flat on the ground, into Sphinx. So the hips are staying connected with the mat and the heart is moving forward through the shoulders. Crown of the head lifting up. Good. Gently lower the head back down. Bring the hands back under the shoulders. Lift up through your plank or kneeling plank and return to downward dog. Other side, inhale, left foot steps forward, coming all the way up to that high lunge, arms reach. Exhale, heart low, arms to your hips. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, biceps by the ears. Exhale, turn the right heel to the floor and rotate the rib cage up toward the sky. Release that left hand toward the floor, right arm up. Left elbow can always be resting on the left thigh if you'd rather. Good, reach those arms back up again overhead. And then stand tall into your warrior two. Let your arms come down behind you, lace the fingers. Stay there if you want, or fold forward. Humble warrior. Nice deep breaths. Release the arms toward the hips and then all the way down to the floor. Stretch them forward and reach as far as you can with your fingertips on the floor if that's possible today. Walking the hands back in, come up on those right toes. Again, working that left elbow under the left leg, coming into Eka Pada Koundinyasana on this side. If you want, just an option, just for fun. Toeing the left foot forward until you can shift your weight forward, bringing both legs off the ground. Pausing for breath, and then setting the right foot back down, left foot to meet it, downward dog. Fingers spread wide. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga, all the way down onto your belly again. Keeping your hands under your shoulders for a moment, let's lift both legs up, keeping them as straight and as strong as you can. With each breath, lift higher. Good, let it go. Slide your elbows back under your shoulders, coming back to Sphinx. Heart forward, and this time if you want, straighten your arms, but remember when you do that you want to keep your shoulders away from your ears. So don't let your shoulders squeeze up on your neck. Keep them low. Good, release that all the way to the floor, hands under the shoulders, toes curl under. We press up through a plank or a kneeling plank and return to downward dog. Good, let's lower the knees to the floor. And we're going to sit back now into hero pose. So we're sitting down between our heels. Now, if you have any knee issues or ankle issues, this is probably not a pose you want to do. And if that's the case, you can come back to Thunderbolt, sitting on your heels, or just rest in child's pose. Use your hands for support. You could also sit on a blanket or a block so you don't have to lower quite so low. Stay there, or if you want, come back to your elbows, or even all the way down onto your back, if that's accessible to you. Listen to your knees. They will tell you how they're doing. So if you feel any pinching or tightness in them, we're probably going to want to come back up, maybe come to child's pose. All together now, we'll walk ourselves forward slowly so that we can bring the heels back together and come to child's pose. Hands can rest under your forehead or by your side, or you could stretch them out in front of you. Just find that comfortable place and breathe. Thank your body for what it's done so far. It's got a little more to do yet today. Slowly, let's roll up. We'll bring the legs around in front of us. Sit up nice and tall and then lower yourself slowly down to the mat. Bring the arms overhead and the legs straight up in the air. Good, let's flex the toes, reach up for those toes. If you can't hold them, that's okay. Keeping the legs straight for right now. And then let your knees bend and open out to the sides, kind of coming down toward your armpit or just outside your rib cage. Knees are bent to 90 degrees, happy baby pose. You can hold your toes or the outer edges of your feet. If it feels like too much, hold your hamstrings instead. Good. Now let your legs come together. Let your ankles cross and bring your arms under your knees and then around the tops of your shins. And you can lace your fingers there and just hold that. Good. Switch the cross of your ankles. Do it again. Just breathing, finding that comfortable space. Good, release that, and let's take the right knee and cross it over the left, coming into eagle legs by wrapping your right toes around your left calf. And from there, gently lowering the right knee down to the left side. Looking back at the ceiling or toward your right arm, away from your knees, taking nice deep breaths. So this is often a more intense twist than just putting your knees one on top of the other. So if you need to unwind your legs and find a more comfortable place, go ahead and do that. Your breath will tell you. If it's hard to breathe, we're probably doing a little too much. Slowly and with control, bring that back up to center. Switch sides. Left knee crosses over the right. Wrap the left toe around the right calf, and then slowly lower the knees down to the right side. Looking back toward the left arm. Look to center with control. Bring the knees back to center. You can uncross them. And we'll put the soles of our feet together. Let the knees fall open to the side. And we'll come into Shavasana right here with our arms away from the body, palms up. And if this is not comfortable, on your hips or on your knees or whatever, go ahead and straighten your legs if you'd rather. Otherwise, we will pause here for a couple minutes. Let our bodies soften into the floor. Let the muscles release their work. Let them be effortless against the mat. Take some deep breaths and then let your breath settle back into that natural, quiet rhythm. Notice how your body feels now. And as your body gets quiet, let your mind match it. There's nothing so important we need to think about it right now. We can take these few minutes for ourselves, for stillness. Now let's start to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Bring some movement back into your body. Taking your time to fold that left knee over the right knee and roll to your right side. Use your arms to come back up to sitting comfortably. Find that space, whatever it looks like now, doesn't matter. You could kneel, you could straighten your legs. Just sit tall. Relax your shoulders, relax your eyelids, and thank your body for what it did today, for everything it's capable of, for the strength that it holds, just waiting for us to call upon it. We are stronger than we know. physically, mentally, emotionally, in every single way. Know that today, going forth and accepting whatever life has in store today. Facing it with strength and courage and grace. Let's bring our palms together. I thank you for joining me today. Namaste.